I'm Recoded Zaphod, and welcome to episode 16 on the Centricraft-2 server. You might notice I've already actually done some work for this episode, but unfortunately when I recorded it, it recorded to the wrong file format, so I can't actually show you that, but I can show you the results of what I did, and it's putting all of these glowstone blocks into this roof, because I now have a renewable source of glowstone from my witch farm. So yeah, I wanted to light up this roof to stop it being able to spawn anything. So I've put them in like this, which I think is subtle enough not to be distracting, but still enough to light up the roof. Because yeah, I didn't really want to do torches up there or end rods that look a bit out of place. So I think these work as a sort of little sort of skylighty sort of thing. And then also on the inside here. Ooh, that's a zombie villager. Do I have anything I can make him hold? You pick that up? Yes. Okay, I'm just going to catch this guy quickly. Stay there. Okay, good. And I'm going to want to put a block above his head to stop him burning. I think he's probably blocked off, but just in case. There we go. Alright. Now I've trapped him in that corner. I can cure him later and use him for something. Let's have a look at this roof from the inside. Let's close that up. Alright, and yeah, you can see it's brightened up the whole roof, which I'm not sure, it alters the sort of aesthetic in here, because before it was all dark and gloomy and you couldn't really see what was going on. But now it's all lit up in the roof to light up above the roof to stop spawns. It looks like it's still working, and I'm not sure if I should maybe do a bit more work on the inside of this to make it look pretty. Maybe try and put some walkways hanging down from the ceiling or something, or block up these pillars. But either way, I don't think that's something I want to do right now, but it's certainly something I can think about doing in the future, just to give it a better style in here. Because I'll have to think very carefully about where I'm putting things to make sure, you know, they're not somewhere iron golems are going to spawn on them, and they're not going to get in the way of this guy going round. So, yeah, there's something I can do in the future, but don't need to do just yet. You can see sunlight's turning everything slightly red right now. But yeah, my other plans for this episode are basically doing some paths around spawn and trying to light up spawn a bit more, to stop getting all of these spawns absolutely everywhere, because they wander into the nether portal, and just wandering through at night is a little bit dangerous around here. Wow, come on, take off. There we go. So I think it'd be quite nice to get some paths going around spawn, put some lighting in, and yeah, just generally make this spawn area a bit more developed. I think particularly over here at the world spawn, I think it might be worth building some sort of platform or a like bandstand type shelter thing. Just because if anyone has to respawn here because their bed's broken, if they respawn in the middle of the night, they're not going to suddenly be panicked by loads of mobs absolutely everywhere around them. So yeah, I'm going to pop over to a creative world and start building a few paths designs, and then we can have a look at them and decide which would be worth putting in. Right, so I'm in the creative world right now, and I've got a few path designs and some lighting options. So you can see over here I've taken like a couple of blocks which work well together and turn them into paths. I got a rough idea that I wanted these waterlogged stairs on the edges to be sort of drainage gutters along the edges of the paths. These ones are much fancier styles of paths. This one, I don't think there's enough variation because I've only got two different textures. Also, it will look slightly different with the normal textures on, because I have the Vanilla Tweaks black netherrack. So yeah, there'd be a slight change there anyway. So this might be something I come back to at some other point if I have something themed around, say, blue-greens, or if I'm doing a red and black build and want paths, I could come back to one of these. But I think I'm going to go for this as a sort of formal path. Again, with the gutters down the side and quite smooth textures. And then I can transition into more worn out paths like this with all the mossy cobble and the broken bricks for less formal, less more casual paths which look like they've been trodden down a bit. Possibly if they're going past a lake, something like that, I can go for one of these. I did think about doing this, but I think this is, well, one, these blocks are quite hard to get. The dried coral, called dead coral, but they do kind of work quite well with cobblestone. It's sort of big cobbles, some of them, but yeah, I decided I'm not really that keen on this because they've got a different sort of colour to these. They're more sort of browny grey rather than a black grey, I guess is the best way to describe that. So yeah, I'm not too keen on that, but yes, I think with these two types of paths and obviously some sort of transition areas, I could do quite a lot around the spawn area. And then also for sort of trodden paths, I can grab some of these blocks which are sort of dirt and grass, and you can get sort of muddy patches like this I tried making, and then I've got these trapdoors being sort of path over the top of them. So I could try doing that if I want to do like a muddy patch. But yeah, I've tried to arrange them here, sort of blending the sort of grassy textures there, and then the sort of ones over here are quite muddy and sort of damp looking. But over here it's like dried dirt. And then of course mycelium as well, which it can fit in to like muddy patches and stuff like that. But I'm not sure if I've got a source of mycelium that I know of on the server, so that might be left out for now. I can always add it in future if I feel it works well. And of course you can add wood into these bits as well, as if someone's laid down some planks to walk along. Or I could add in some mossy cobble, stuff like that works quite well. I think I've got some of these and some mossy cobble in the path leading to my cave base entrance where my mine comes up. But yeah, the paths are the main things I want to get done, and then I want to get them lit up. So I've got a few options for lighting. You can see quite a few options here. Some of them I think might work better on a larger scale. So with this, it's quite a chunky type of lighting fixture, and of course it actually comes on at nighttime. But I think I want something slightly smaller and subtler. So I think I'm going to go with one of these, and I think the dark oak is my preferred wood type for this type of lighting. And of course I've gone with the lantern because it's a slightly smaller, more subtle lighting source. So I think that's going to be my main source of light. I might do some other things, like you can see here, put some glowstone under some carpet, or put it under some bushes, just to get the area around it, around the paths, lit up as well. So I started a bit of a path and put in some lights. I think these look quite good if they're sort of staggered, so they're offset slightly from each other, so they'll sort of zigzag back and forth. But yeah, I've started building what I think I want to go over the actual spawn, which looks like this. So yeah, I've only got the one path coming out of it so far, and I want some lights leading up to it, but I don't want these because partially I want the symmetry, and partially I don't want them to, these would look quite sort of big. I don't want them to be trying to drown out the centerpiece. So I've got these little ones here. And yeah, got a mix of textures going on here. I might put carpet over these glowstone, because that might make it look a bit better. Have it all sort of blend in up there. But then I want to have these little staircases down the sides. And obviously I haven't filled in all of the stuff down here, but you get the idea of what's going on here. There's a bed, and this chest is from the hoppers, because in the main world, this is going to go over the world spawn. So this hopper is going to be where anything which comes through the end portal ends up, which is also why I've left a gap in the roof there, sort of structured it around having a gap there. So if anything comes through, it ends up going straight into the hopper and into this chest. And yeah, if anyone turns up here, they've got a bed they can use. There's ender chest, crafting table, and of course a big chest if they happen to need that. And there might be another thing to put down there actually. So yeah, there'll just be a sort of collection of useful things to have at the world spawn down under here. And yeah, hopefully I'll have an intersection of roads which can all look like this. You'll see I've started adding little bits like this. I think particularly along these gutters in the edges, I think mossy stone brick stairs will actually look quite good, because the mossiness makes sense with the water flowing through it. So yeah, I think I'll start adding those in quite early on, quite close to this. And then I think the further I get from this, the more worn down the path's going to get. Like, it hasn't been kept so well. So I'll add more mossy, maybe some cracked stone brick, probably get less and less of the chiseled stone with the shapes. And yeah, less of a polished andesite, start getting some normal. And yeah, hopefully I can get it to fade in a sort of natural way with the lampposts. And I can start putting like bushes around and trodden paths as well, leading off of it. But yeah, I think for now, I think this is what I want to be putting into the server. So yeah, I guess I ought to grab the materials I need for this. I think the only thing I might struggle with is andesite. I need to check I've got plenty of that, because there's quite a lot of polished andesite in this. And of course I need to craft up the different types of stone bricks and chiseled stone and stone brick walls and all of that. And also I think I need to craft up some lanterns, which isn't too bad because of course it's just a torch and some iron, and I've got the iron farm, so I should have all the resources, just need to craft them all up, and then I can get building some of this, which I think I might do in the form of a time lapse. So yeah, I've got this spawn little monument bandstandy platform thing built, and I'm quite pleased with how it looks, and it blends in quite well. So it doesn't look too out of place with, you know, the iron factory in the background and stuff like that. I still need to, you know, extend all these paths all the way across spawn, but I want to be careful not to intrude on anyone else's plans, because I can see there's a marked out path here leading from Amadorn and Intense area. So I don't know if there's already a plan or whether it was just to mark out a potential path sort of at some point. But I know certainly over here is just towards my area, so I can definitely get building some more paths. You can see I've got my little dirt path in here. So I think if I have this come along here and then join up with the path here, which goes up to the doors of the iron factory, I think that would work quite well. The path might have to end here, or at least turn into another dirt path to go up here. So that's always an option. The other thing is, I'm not sure whether I want to try and move this nether portal to actually under this spawn area, because it makes sense to actually have the spawn portal at the world spawn. So if anyone, respawns because they've lost their bed, they won't have to travel all the way over there to get to the nether portal. They can just come down. So I don't know whether I could build another staircase down and have another layer just below this, just for the nether portal, which I think might be a good option. Although, because that's the thing, if you have the nether portal by itself, you probably want to put another building over it so it's not just in the grass, which I could do, particularly if I didn't want these paths to carry on. So say if this one, if I decided I didn't actually want this going all the way up here, and I wanted to stop it, say, here or something, for whatever reason, I could then just put the nether portal at the end of it and make that sort of a path to the nether portal. But I think it might be easier to put it underneath, because this path this way, I think I want to have it keep going and then probably turn into sort of a trodden path out here, over here to... We were possibly going to have a shopping district here, and then we were talking about it and thinking of turning it into a sort of gaming district, but I'm not sure whether there's still actually plans to do anything with this. But either way, it would make sense to have a path out to it, as there's something out here. So yeah, I'll probably keep this path coming out at least to about here, where it would be able to meet up with this path if this path gets continued on over here. And then this path as well, it doesn't really go anywhere in particular unless it joins up again with that path, but it sort of runs along the side of the iron factory, which I think makes sense. So yeah, I'm probably going to put that in as well, and then at the end transition it to a trodden path and maybe take that across here. But again, that's really whether Amadorn and Intent want different paths leading to and from here, and how they want to do that. So I'll have to talk to them about what to do with this path. But yeah, I can definitely get on with this one here and get the lights in, and I'm going to need to fill all the gutters with water, but you might notice they're all stone brick at the moment, and I do want to swap a few of them out for other stairs. So I need to do that before I start waterlogging them so I don't get water flooding out everywhere. But yeah, I think the next course of action is going to be this path up this way and moving that portal. Okay, so I have now got a path in leading from the iron factory and another one leading out to my cat shop. You can see the different styles. The connection was a bit tricky, so I've gone for these sort of steps of wood, because I've incorporated wood into this design with the trapdoors and the planks in here, which has also given it a bit of depth. I also use some pressure plates just to add that little extra step of depth into the design of this path. And I think this definitely needs more decorating, particularly like around these side areas. I could just come in and spam a whole load of bone meal down, which is a possibility. But I feel like I might want to do a bit more sort of terraforming type stuff over here anyway, particularly with here where I've shaped this and I need to change where all the water is, and I need to move the zombie villagers out before I can sort out whether this is going to be a separate pond or part of the main lake. So yeah, there's still bits and pieces to do. I'd quite like to put in some custom trees, but I haven't really done many custom trees in the past, so that'll be something new, and I'll have to work out what looks good and then put them in. So yeah, definitely a task for another day. I've got this path in here, and again, it's doing something funny sort of here because this had a step down to the grass originally, but I quite like having the shape outlining where the entrance is. I might still adjust this somehow. I'm not quite sure the best way to do that. Yeah, but I might try a few more things over the course of time to try and make this look good. Maybe once I start putting in like trees and stuff, it'll suddenly become obvious what's going to work best here, particularly with the end of the drainage gutters as well. I don't know if I need to do something with that. Oh, and I still need to fill them in with water. But that creeper keeps making me anxious. Okay, come on. There we go. But yeah, I've only taken it as far as the portal yet, which I haven't moved because I think the best place for that is going to be just here, because this path isn't going anywhere. So yeah, I'm gonna probably try and build something here, or here, just for a portal. It might be I want to have a portal over by the farming area, or other people want to have a portal over by the sort of farms area. But I think for the spawn portal, I think it's probably worth building something in just sort of here. So that's going to take some designing work as well. So that's, again, a job for another episode. But that's going to be all for this one. If you have any feedback, I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. As always, I've been Recoded Zaphod, and thanks for watching.